Statistically, I think that was the best season of your career by a pretty good amount. How did you feel about your own personal play?
There's always ups and downs, but I think overall, I think I've made a step in the right direction. I think I was talking to Darko about this in our meeting. I just felt more comfortable being more aggressive in different types of situations. And I think that shows just like on the stat sheet, like offensively, where I was taking a lot more shots and I was, I think, more involved in an active sort of way, whereas in the past I was maybe more like a passive piece of our offense where like I would help other guys get shots. But this year it felt like I had more opportunities and like I said, I was more comfortable just like, I guess, attacking it head on. And that's how that turned out.
And to that, the team plays a ton of delay, just like you make the decisions for the offense. How do you feel about your progression and the choices you made from the start to the end?
I think that's still a part of it where I would like to see some improvement because I think I can make good reads, but like the part where I want to take a next step is like making that like secondary read. Like if the first option seems open, but then it might not be because there's a rotation, like taking advantage of that, where like almost like from a point guard point of view, where like you have to be aware of like your first, second, and then third option, and like which part of it the defense is taking away, and like having some more poise in those situations. It's not easy. It's obviously like a really like hard thing to do, and for me, I think I have a good idea of what's going on in the game. I just don't have that much experience in a like real playmaking role. So just getting better at that, I think, is something that I want to work on. But I think it's also just a matter of like getting more and more experience and reps in those situations.
How do you get better at that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Outside of doing it in the game, how do you get better at that?
I mean, you can try to drill it, like you can set up situations, but I think it's really difficult because it's difficult to reenact real game situations. And like even if I set up a drill where I have like defenders that can take away multiple situations, like I'm never going to be able to recreate kind of like the speed and the pressure and like not knowing what's going to happen next. Like in a drill, I'm always going to know, okay, this is my option 1, 2, 3. In a game, like it's going to happen much quicker. So I think that's honestly the best way to get better at it, is just being exposed to these situations in a game. But yeah, going to try my best to do it outside of games as well, obviously.
How do you picture your role, other than screening a lot, when you're sharing the floor with potentially all three of Scotty, RJ, and Brandon?
I mean, I honestly don't know. Like, I don't think my role, as far as like what I do for our offense, is gonna change that much. Like, if anything, the volume might go down a little bit if we have more plays for BI coming in, or like different types of offensive strategies now involving him. Like, obviously I don't know about that yet, and like that's going to be the coach's job to figure out how we're going to balance all of that. But as far as I'm aware, and as far as my communication with the coaches goes, like I think our play style, we still want to like play a similar brand of basketball where we share the ball a lot. I don't think we're going to all of a sudden turn into like a screen and roll or an ISO team or anything like that. We're still going to want to move the ball around, and I think I'm still going to be like a central part of that, kind of as that connector.
Yeah, at the start of the year, you mentioned that you wanted to make sure that your vision of the future of the team kind of aligned with the organization's vision. How have you felt that's evolved over the course of the year, and just what are your thoughts on the organization as a whole moving forward?
I'm really positive as far as like the outlook goes. Like I think we showed that we have a really good foundation that we can build on here, and I think even like our front office has showed that they want to build on that foundation quickly with like trade like getting BI in. Obviously, like we still have to test this whole ship. Like we haven't had a chance, like even with the guys that we had without considering BI, like we didn't have a whole lot of time on the court together with like injuries, and then obviously the end of the season being what it was. So hopefully even over the summertime we'll get some time in together, like where we have everybody on the court together, kind of get that kick started. But I think I'm happy with where we're heading, and it's trending in the right direction. And now it's just about going out there and getting it.
This was Darko's second full season as a head coach in the NBA. How have you seen him evolve, whether it's plays that he's drawing up or just like at practice, and how he's coaching the team? How has he changed over the past 2 seasons?
I don't think he's changed that much. I think he came in with his very own like personality and style, and I think that's still what really makes him and what makes him a good coach. I think there's some like little nuances obviously that like you pick up on just from the experience, like how to handle being an NBA head coach, how to like deal with players. I think there's a few situations where he's taking a little bit step back, like letting guys like myself or like other guys that have more experience like kind of follow their routines the way like I've done it, and I know how I can make myself successful. And I think he's kind of found a good balance there where like he knows when to be on top of everybody and on top of the team, and knows when to kind of let the reins go a little bit as well. So I think that's been really cool to see, and is something that I really appreciate, and I told him that as well. So yeah, but I think overall he's still the same guy. He's like very unique in his ways, and we appreciate him for it.
Yeah, right now you're the oldest player on the team under contract for next season. I think. Do you feel that the team needs to add more veteran leadership? Are you comfortable with your role and what you're seeing from the young guys to step into that role, or would it be helpful to have more like Gary Temple or more older guys around the team?
I mean, obviously Garrett adds an element of leadership to our team that I don't think anybody else can really bring. Honestly, like I've, even in my past, 8-9 years in the NBA, like I haven't really seen a level of that kind of veteran leadership in anybody. So I think there's like an element to that where, just from a teaching point of view, from like not only on the court but also off the court, like the way he like handles teaching these young guys about like life in the NBA, about how to be a professional, about like he's like very willing to do all these little things, and like that's been really awesome to see, where he's like almost like a player's coach in that sense. And I think him being the guy that he is, like the ultimate professional, is like a guy that everybody in this organization can really learn from a lot. So I don't think me as like the oldest player whatever could ever like replace something like that. So I think that's awesome to have, but I don't think we necessarily need to add a veteran to this group where I'm like, oh, like this guy's gonna be able to win us like an extra 5-10 games, whatever it may be. I think seeing where the pieces that we have right now develop, and then as that process goes along, like obviously there's going to be like other pieces that we're going to have to add to it. There's going to be situations where some players like can't keep up. That's just the nature of the business. But I think everybody this season has really shown that they belong where they are, and now it's just about taking the next step, and hopefully we can all do it together. And then we'll figure out along the way what little pieces here or there we're still missing, and then win big from there.
Yeah, going back to your performance this season, kind of digging a little bit deeper, if you were to isolate one thing that has really impacted your game the most in terms of like benefiting it, what would it be? Because you touched on the freedom of like the trust from the coach, touched on like kind of like high post and just ball movement in general, but what do you feel like worked really well for you?
I think the trust and the chemistry in all kinds of different two-man games between like all our main guys out there has really elevated this like the offensive output for myself, because like if I'm just getting into more situations where they know where I'm gonna be, and like I feel like I'm getting in a comfortable situation where I can take a shot that I know I can make, so that leads to me having more of a rhythm, more shot opportunities, and then like more points at the end of the day. So developing that with Scotty, with Quick, RJ, obviously like are the main guys, and then I think that's really what helped it out the most, I think.
You shot a career high from the free throw line this season. like by a pretty substantial margin. Was there anything special that went into that beyond sort of just like obviously practicing your free throws?
No. I think I've been practicing free throws my whole career, and I always knew that I'm like a capable free throw shooter. I think it's like a mental thing where like sometimes you're just struggling with something, you can't get out of it. And I think the longer I've been in the NBA and like the more I've done it, like I found stretches throughout the season where like I felt comfortable, and then like I would have like a bad game or two and kind of fall back into being uncomfortable. I think the biggest difference for me this year was that I felt like for 90% of the season, maybe even more, like I felt just like fine going to the free throw line. There was no like doubt in my mind or anything along those lines. There was no like I guess doubt is probably even the wrong word, like overthinking it, like trying to like think about the technique and how I want to shoot these free throws instead of just going up there and shooting them, you know, because like I've done it thousands, millions of times, and you just go up there and do it, and if you miss, you miss, you make it. And I think just that aspect and being able to kind of trick myself or like get myself away from thinking about it too much has really helped. And then obviously like with the results, that becomes easier and easier, so it's kind of like a snowball effect, and hopefully that can continue from here on out. So I'm going to continue not to really think about it and like worry about it too much, and I'm just going to do my routine during practice, like shoot my free throws and have that be the end of it.
I mean, since we're not,
Last one.
okay. Well, since we're not like obviously players and stuff, like I think maybe in general, like the mental aspect of the game, you know, even beyond sort of the free throw line where it's so isolating, but like how much does the mental side of the game like affect players and sort of like dictate sort of how people are able to perform?
I mean, I think it's a huge part. Obviously, it's different for everybody else. Like everybody has their own little strategies, but like, I don't think anybody's gonna make it here, like to this level, without having his own way of dealing with the mental difficulties that come within a basketball game. Because we've played on high levels before that, like maybe college or like professional somewhere else, like whatever it may be. So yeah, for me, kind of what I just said right now, like I think sometimes the less thinking the better. Just trying to go out there and doing what I know I'm good at and what I know I'm comfortable with has always worked. But yeah, I think everybody has their own little ways.
Thank you.
I'm TJ Ford, and you're watching the Raptors YouTube channel. Check out our latest videos and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Works right into the lane, puts it up.